So, with Injustice 2 on its way next year, Ed Boon kind of let slip in his own Ed Boony way that there is the possibility of guest characters showing up in Injustice 2, just like how Scorpion showed up in the first Injustice game. Now, a lot of people weren't too happy with the idea of Scorpion in the game, but at this point I think we kind of assume that, guest characters are going to be a thing, which I'm fine with, because, you know me, I love crossovers and all that. But, it was cool to see Scorpion in Injustice. It was cool to see him in there, and I would not doubt that we are getting guest characters again. And I decided, you know what? Here's a few ideas for guest characters. Now, the thing about all these guest characters I'm going to list off aren't from, like, horror games or Mortal Kombat or anything like that. My idea for guest characters, here's a cool way you could do guest characters, and this is just me, just shooting my mouth off, and this is just something I think would be cool. If you don't think it's cool, it's totally fine, no ill will against you, but hear me out. What if, for guest characters, you use characters from the Vertigo comics? Because, Vertigo, it's still under DC, it's still in that range, but at the same time, Vertigo is its own thing. It has its own universe. You have characters from the DC comics that sometimes show up in Vertigo, and likewise over there. But, yeah, Vertigo, for the most part, usually is its own thing. So I think it would be cool if, for guest characters, I think it would be cool if they use Vertigo characters, because, it's still technically DC, but they're still their own thing. It's like their own little universe within and of itself. So I think that would be cool if you got to do something like that. So, I don't really have a top 5 or anything. These are just 5 characters that I would really love to see from Vertigo show up in Injustice as guest characters. I think that would be really cool. I think that would be a fun idea. And again, I know there could be the possibility of Scorpion showing up again, and Sub-Zero and all that, but me personally, these are just characters I would like to see, and I'm always excited to see what yours are. And also with this list, this is just my personal opinion. If you think, these characters should be on here, or not, there are other characters I didn't mention or not beyond this one at all, that's totally fine, no ill will against you. This is just my personal opinion. I'm always excited to hear your opinion on stuff like this. So, you guys can comment below, let me know what characters you'd like to see in guest star in Injustice. These are just my few. So they're all from Vertigo. Kicking off, as you can see right here, Bigby Wolf. Bigby Wolf, I think, would be a great character to guest star. Mostly because, he's already gotten popular. He got major popularity in the Telltale game, The Wolf Among Us. So I think it would be a cool idea to bring Bigby back, because he is under Vertigo. He is technically under the DC house. So I think it would be cool if you brought Bigby in here, because he already has that big popularity. Obviously, Fables has a huge following, and, the game has a big following as well. So I think it would be a cool idea to bring Bigby in here as a guest character, and I think he would just be awesome. Could you imagine the gameplay with him? I mean, he's the big bad wolf, and he can control air. He's pretty intelligent, and I just love to see him, shit-talk everybody. Like, he just runs into Superman, and he's like he's got a cigarette, and he's like, "So you're Superman, huh? Thought you'd be bigger." Yeah, and could you imagine, his special move, he can just turn into his giant wolf form, and just turn whatever character into a giant dog toy? Oh, that'd be great. So I think Bigby would be a lot of fun as a guest character. I think, again, I think you could get a lot of DLC out of this, because, Telltale, The Wolf Among Us was such a popular game, so I think there could be some chance of Bigby being a guest character. I think if they went the Vertigo route, I think he would be one of the first to be in there, among a few other characters, which I will be talking about. Anyway, moving on. What, did you not think I was going to mention this when we talk about Vertigo characters? Yes, Rorschach as a guest character in Injustice. Again, it could be a possibility, because now we have Dr. Manhattan thanks to DC Rebirth. So, could it be a possibility that we have Rorschach, and obviously Watchmen is such a popular comic book series, that I think it would be cool to have Rorschach in here as a DLC character. Now, there are so many other characters I would have picked, and there's a lot of characters from Watchmen that would be great, like Night Owl, Ozymandias, Silk Spectre, but I went with Rorschach because when you think Watchmen, what do you think first? Did you think Rorschach? Yeah. So I think it would be cool to have Rorschach in here, and there's been a lot of talk and rumors of The Question possibly being in here, and if you've never read the Dennis O'Neil run of The Question, he really, it's kind of funny because The Question took a lot of inspiration from the Rorschach, who was in the Watchmen comics, and it's actually kind of funny. He gets his ass kicked the first time when he goes on a mission. He's like, "You got anything left to say?" And he's like, "Yeah, Rorschach sucks." So I just want, like, if The Question's in this game, and you have Rorschach in here as a DLC character, and they both have that meeting, is like, "Dude, you got my ass kicked," and he's just like, "That's what you get, asshole." But for the moves, I could imagine like he uses the blowtorch like he did in the comic. There's so many different move sets that, you know, a lot of his moves would probably be very brutal. I would love to see him and Batman throw down in the game. I don't want to see Rorschach in the DC universe like I've talked about in DC Rebirth. I want to keep Rorschach's death as a death and not have it and find out that, oh, Rorschach, you know, Dr. Manhattan never killed him at all. He was in the DC universe the whole time. I really don't want that. I really don't. Again, his death meant something in the... Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Watchmen comic, I understand that, you know, that comic had a lot of impact. The same thing with Dark Knight Returns. Not really a big fan of Dark Knight Returns, but I understand that that was one of the things that made people go, oh, comics aren't just for kids anymore. They're a respectable medium. But again, I think it would be cool, you know, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Watchmen series, I gotta admit, playing as Watchmen would be a pretty... playing as Rorschach would be a pretty fucking sweet idea. Just a lot of brutal moves right there, and probably just down to earth and bloody. Like, I could just imagine him looking at Superman going, big blue bastard. Bring it. I can't do Rorschach, obviously. But anyway, so there you go, Rorschach. Following that is Lucifer, from the Sandman comics and the Lucifer ongoing. I think it would be an interesting idea because obviously we've had demons before. We had, you know, Demon Raven in the last game, and I've heard a lot of rumors that Trigon might be in this one. And you also have the possibility of Darkseid being in this game. So I think it would be cool if you had Lucifer in here as a DLC character, and I'd love to see him like interact with the other demon characters. And there's also been talk of like Etrigan and even John Constantine. So it would be a lot of fun, like, if John Constantine's in this game, and you have Lucifer in here as well. I'd love to have the conversation of the two be like, "I've been looking for you, John. Yeah, you're gonna have to keep waiting, mate." Oh, man. Or something like, "I've been waiting a long time for this, buddy." or, you know, stuff like that. But again, assuming John might be in the game or not. But yeah, I think it would be... And again, there may be some possibility, because even though I kind of dropped off the show because I just got tired of the whole crime element, Lucifer is actually kind of a popular show on Fox. So, one, this may be a possibility, and two, if they decide to go the whole Vertigo DLC route, so maybe have Lucifer in here, and if you do have Lucifer in here, you have, you give the TV skin. Maybe you even get the actor, Tom Ellis, who, even though I kind of dropped off the show, I gotta admit, Tom Ellis was kind of awesome as Lucifer. So yeah, if you get Lucifer in here as a DLC, get Tom Ellis to do the voice of, and a TV skin for Lucifer, and get him to do the voice of that character. Oh, that'd be great. Same with Grant Gustin. Can we get Grant Gustin to do a TV Flash skin and have him voice the Flash, like how Stephen Amell did in the first game? Anyway, but I think there's a lot of possibility, like doing Hellfire Blast, maybe like summon a demon out of the ground to drag him down, stuff like that. His fighting style would probably be very brutal and a lot of teleporting. Anyway, so there you go. Following that is Morpheus from Sandman. Now, Morpheus, or Dream, to pick your poison on the name, Morpheus would be pretty interesting. I would imagine a lot of, like, long-range attacks, a lot of, a lot of combo moves. Like, he would be a very combo-heavy character, kind of like how, what I've seen of Atrocitus in the gameplay. Like, Atrocitus looks he looks very combo-heavy. And that would probably be the same with Morpheus, where he wouldn't be really an in-your-face type character. He's more like a long-range, I'm going to use these attacks on you from a distance, like he's a distance fighter. So that's how I kind of imagine Morpheus on a whole with this, with this characteristics. His move, like I could imagine, him, like his special attack, he sends you to the dream world, and he just beats your ass there through dreams. I don't know, like I think that would be a lot of fun. to see that, this kind of character done. Because again, Sandman's a very popular series. The great Neil Gaiman and all is a great writer, and this is probably one of the most beloved comics everywhere. And he's shown up in the DC universe in Mark Waid's Justice League run, and Death showed up in Paul Cornell's Action Comics run with a conversation between him and Lex Luthor. So, yeah, I think he would be a cool character. Again, probably a ranged character at best, but still, I think there's a lot of fun stuff to be held with this character on a whole. So anyway, there you go, Morpheus. Morpheus from Neil Gaiman's Sandman. And finally, is probably the one character. If someone said, "All right, you can pick one character from Vertigo out of these 5 to use, which one would it be?" And I'd pick this one right off the bat. And that character is Skinner Sweet from Scott Snyder's American Vampire. Skinner Sweet would be so badass to have as a character in Injustice 2. I think he would be so awesome. If you don't know the story of Skinner Sweet is a vampire from, of course, like I said, Scott Snyder's American Vampire. He was this psychopathic outlaw who was turned into the first American vampire. Basically, he can go out in sunlight. He actually can morph his hands into long claws. He still drinks blood, and his only weakness is gold. That's really his only one weakness is gold. But yeah, he's a total badass. He's a real shit talker, and yeah, he's a great hand-to-hand fighter. He's just an awesome character. Like, I could imagine, maybe he takes a bite out of you, drains some of your health, and adds it to his own. Just slashes your throat and stick a dynamite down your mouth or something like that. I would imagine his fighting style, if he was in the game, as just very brutal, very in your face, and just downright savage. That's how I kind of imagine Skinner's gameplay on a whole. Is just something just bloody in your face, and it's unforgivable. So yeah. So there you go, guys. Those are all the DLC characters. Again, all Vertigo characters. Because again, I think it would be a cool idea to have it play out like that, as having DLC characters as DC. Because when Scorpion was announced, even though Scorpion was probably the most downloaded DLC character for the Injustice Pack, a lot of people were kind of upset by the idea of not having it kind of ruined a slot for other Justice League characters. And it's not, you may be thinking, well, did you hate it? Actually, no. Scorpion was, like I said, Scorpion was pretty awesome. But at the same time, I think to avoid that kind of backlash, I think it would be cool if you went with characters that are from DC, but at the same time are not from DC. Like, they're under the DC house, but they're under they're under a different group, but they're in the same roundhouse, you know what I mean? They're in the same wheelhouse. There's the better word. They're in the same wheelhouse as the other characters from this series. So that's why I kind of thought of the idea of, like, maybe we could just do all Vertigo characters for the whenever do we do guest characters for DLC? I'd love to see other DC characters get DLCs, but in case we do guest characters, why not have the guest characters from Vertigo? So yeah, there's a lot of other characters in here. I just picked these 5 because these are the top 5 for me. But yeah, again, I would not be surprised, nor would I don't think I would be totally mad if we had another MK character, because I'm the crossover guy. Of course, I'd be loving the idea of having MK characters. I doubt we'll get any horror characters from, I doubt we'll see Batman versus Jason or Batman versus Michael in this game, but I would not be shocked if we had other MK characters like Sub-Zero and, Katana and a few others here and there. But yeah, I just personally think this would be a cool idea to kind of get around the idea of having, they're guest characters, but they're still under the DC household. So you guys tell me, what guest characters, not just Vertigo or anything else, what kind of guest characters would you like to see in Injustice 2? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this. This was just my, I just thought this would be a fun idea. Once again, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying, this is the top, these are the top characters and you should like them. Brr. No, not saying that at all. This is just something I wanted to have fun with. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.